اللهم لا سهلا إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Thanks so much everyone for joining me live today. This is Imam Muhammad, and today, inshallah, as you've seen, how do you want to make the Quran, Ramadan, an amazing experience for our kids? And a lot of adults, we only think about ourselves in Ramadan to be the people to fast, to be those who will do the Qiyam and Layl, and we think less of our own kids, of what should be their role in this month of Ramadan, and what should be the training that we should be giving them right from this young age. And this is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala admonishes us in the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة. Allah mentioned in the Quran that all you believe, protect, save yourself and your family from hellfire. Meaning, this is not just about your own salvation, it's about the salvation of everyone around you, including your kids, your wife, your siblings, anyone that you are responsible for. And so, brothers and sisters, today I want to share with you some of the tips that we've used here at our academy and at my own house and across the communities to engage students, kids, young teenagers, young kids in the month of Ramadan, especially for those of us who we live in the West here, and it's pretty hard sometimes to get our kids connected with the Quran, due to our schedule, due to our involvement in different things, and the kids busy with all school activities, and we forget about the Quran, we forget about the Ramadan and getting them engaged and making Ramadan a memorable time for their life. And so in 10, 11 months before Ramadan, they actually ruminating and salivating to join Ramadan and be part of it. So I'll share with you few tips today. Of course, is an admonition to all the parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants our kids to enter Jannah, and Allah wants us to be the one to lead them to Jannah. And so that on the day of Qiyamah, the kids or your child will not hold on to you and say, Allah, this my dad didn't teach me Islam. He knew I was going astray. He was so busy with his own life, and he didn't actually teach me anything. So instead of you being responsible on the day of Qiyamah for your child, as Allah mentioned, he said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعِي وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْؤُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ, that everyone is a shepherd and you are a leader in your house. And on the day of Qiyamah, your wife, your kids, you will be responsible for some of the things they've done, which you see or which you should have done and you didn't do. So this is serving as a reminder for all of us and myself and every of my listeners and viewers right now to know that we need to take action this month of Ramadan. And mostly for those of us living in the West, I live in Canada. I know some of you live in the UK, live in the US. It's really important for us to actually get the habit, the culture of Ramadan into the heart of our kids, and so that when they grow older, the fasting of Ramadan is going to be part of their life, and they always like and want to be part of it. So I'm going to be sharing 5 tips with you all today, and I'm going to be really excited for your comments and your feedback on that as well. Uh, like you all know, my name is Imam Muhammad. I'm the founder and the director here at Maaher Academy. We help students as young as 5 years old learn to recite the Quran with tajweed fluently. So, and we do have a 4-month program. It's called the Quran Accelerated Quran Reading Program. So, at the last 5 years, this program has helped hundreds of students learn to be able to recite the Quran themselves in just 4 months. And so, if it's really something that you hope and you wish your child can do as well, reach out to us or check the link below this video to get started and secure a booking session with me so we can discuss how your child can learn. So I want to share 5 tips that will help you get your child or get your kids, make Ramadan special for them. And so it's gonna be a memorable time in their hearts. And growing up, they will long or longing to be in the month of Ramadan. So I've come today to share 5 tips with you. So the first thing which I feel like we all need to do, having to identify our responsibility and our duty as parents, as guardians, to help these kids connect with the Quran, to help them connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to help them, connect with Islam. The first thing is that we can have Ramadan countdown activities, call them Ramadan countdown activities. So you can have a calendar at home and just put it there, the first of Ramadan. Okay, today is the first, today is tomorrow the second, third, fifth. So the kids really gonna be asking questions, Dad, what is Ramadan? And so you can explain to them more about the months of the Islamic calendar, that we have 12 months. We have Ramadan, the ninth month of the Islamic calendar, and we have a special ritual in there, which is fasting. And that way you can explain to them what fasting mean. So this is really something that's pretty easy. Just get a calendar or get a cardboard and just, write the days of the Ramadan there. And every day we finish fasting, just have them mark it, letting them know that Ramadan start at night. So we start Ramadan this year on the 28th of February, so which is the first night of Ramadan was then. And so that you can actually mark and let the kids track it. And they will ask questions for sure. And that way you're actually enlightening them as well. If you know what the answers to the questions they have in mind, and in case you're not really well knowledgeable yourself and you cannot guarantee to give them the correct information, we do have a program here that can help your child learn the deen and get all those questions answered, inshallah. Okay, so that's the first thing that you can do, have this kind of awareness to your child, having a calendar, you can even do, home decor, right? We have different decorations people do for Ramadan. And so instead of having your child only learn how to decorate for Christmas, some people do it. Of course, it's not allowed for Muslims to decorate their houses for Christmas and do all those things. Muslims can actually get Ramadan memorable for the kids by having different decorations that's not aligned with any, pagan, rituals in the houses. So we need to be really careful as well when we have decorations in our houses in Ramadan. We don't want to be having decorations that mimic pagan, religion. So that's the first thing, getting them to know that there are 30 days or 29 days in the month of the lunar calendar, which is the Gregorian Islam, sorry, which is the Islamic calendar. And Allah mentioned in the Quran as well that we have 12 months. So Ramadan being the 12th month, you can have Ramadan countdown calendar for your child at home. And so they can mark it and get to know each day Ramadan is passing by. Another amazing thing that you can do for your child or your family, your kids mostly, we call it the Little Fastest Club. You can call it that way. The Little Fastest Club. It's pretty amazing, right? And this is something that's really fun. We started with my kids here as well. It's called the Little Fastest Club. So we have, them trying out to start fasting maybe from Fajr to Dhuhr, for instance, to start practicing. The person that actually fast the most, for every day they actually try that, they get a prize or they get something noted down for them, right? So this is something that really can work to help you nurture your kids and get them, train them. So because a lot of Muslim kids today in the West growing up, many of them, I had a parent talking about his child at 16 years old, and he was finding it really hard to have that child fast Ramadan, subhanAllah. And, the child is already matured, is mukallaf, is already attained puberty, is required to fast. But because he has not started training him and getting this instilled in him at a very young age, it becomes a lot much harder. It becomes a lot more difficult for them to actually get used to that right at the very much older time in their teenage years. So getting them into this kind of system of the Little Fastest Club and getting them to start practicing fasting. They don't have to practice fasting the entire day. I mean, some kids are actually able to do that in some scenarios, but this is something that you can do. So that's the second idea I'm actually having for you all. You can pick all of them or pick one of them. Have the calendar, Ramadan countdown calendar, or you can have the second option, which is called the Little Fastest Club, right? The little fastest, meaning those little babies fasting, right? And they can be as 5 years old, 6 years old, seven, eight, nine. They're still not mukallafin and not required to fast in the Sharia. They can start practicing and having a feeling for that. Maybe on the weekends, you can practice that with them. And so that way, you have them learning to abstain from eating building some discipline. Allah mentioned in the Quran, Allah said, "Inna hadha al-Qur'ana yahdi lillati hiya aqwam." The Quran will serve as a guide for those who are upright. In this dunya, you cannot instill discipline in your child with all this craziness going on in the West here right now. Um, Islam is a religion of discipline. Imagine we're gonna wake up at night. We're gonna wake up in the morning to pray. We're gonna pray our salah on time. So these are discipline Islam teaches us. And so having to let your child know and having that ability to abstain from drinking for a short period of time, abstaining from eating for a short period of time is a kind of discipline for them as well. It's not just about that short thirstiness, that short thirst they have, or that short, bit hunger. It might not be hunger, few hours, 2 3 hours, and they're gonna eat something. So it's a really good way to get them started. We call it the Little Fastest Club. So that's a good way to actually get your child and make sure that Ramadan is something they remember for life. And once they're actually able to do that every day, or you can make it at the end of Ramadan and say, hey, whoever has the first highest number of that little fasting period, oh, they have it this day, they mark it. Oh, Muhammad has his own fasting this day, the market. And then Khalid did his own. So the one that has the highest number is gonna get a specific gift at the end of Ramadan. That's really gonna be amazing. So the first position will have a different kind of gift. The third will have a different kind of gift. So they're gonna monitor each other, making sure they're not eating and drinking, right? So this is something that's really cool. You can have your kids to do in the month of Ramadan. The third thing which I have to share with you all is we call it Quran connection, room for kids. We all go to tafsir or listen to tafsir in Ramadan. And a lot of the tafsir sittings are mostly for adults. It's so very funny. We also have tafsir here in our own community here, but the thing is that it's only for adults most of the time. The kids are not learning something. It's not geared towards this kid. They just know the adults are sitting down, listening to something, they're playing and jumping around, right? At home or in the community, this can be something that could be done. And what do I call this? It's called the Quran, connection room for kids. You can make it once in a day or twice in a week or if every day of Ramadan. For 30 minutes, for instance, you can do Quran reading stories, stories of the Quran, tell them stories in the Quran of the Prophet, stories of the Ashab al-Kahf, the stories of Musa and Khidr, the stories. Get a lot of lessons to learn from these amazing stories. For instance, the story of the Ashab al-Kahf. We live in the West here, how they actually protected themselves. Allah protected them, the stories of Al Saba, the stories, we have amazing things. Some people will say the Quran is a book of stories. Of course, yeah, Quran has stories, but that's not all Quran is about. There are five things in the Quran. We have the ahkam, the rulings of how to live the life also is in the Quran. We have the qisas, we have the stories and lessons from those stories that are amazing about the prophets of Allah and the messengers who have come and gone. And Allah also have in there, the description of the punishments of qabr. Allah mentioned in the Quran the Qiyamah, how will the Qiyamah look like? So we're not having only stories in the Quran. Quran has an amazing lesson to learn. So you can look into each of those topics about maybe rulings about something, or you can tell a story about something that happened to a prophet and the life of the prophet. Make it 30 minutes. It's not supposed to be something that'll be really long. Make it a Quran room. You can have a small room in your house or maybe in the living room, or just find a place that's going to be really amazing. The kids, everyone, the light is on, the candle is on. It's something that really going to be amazing for kids. So to get their attention to be there and listen to it. So this is the third idea you can have your child or kids doing on Ramadan, because we need to make this memory for them. I remember my daughter asking me earlier, 2 3 weeks ago about why do we not celebrate Valentine, right? A 5 year old, imagine this is how they teach them in the school. They ask them, they prepare for it like a week ahead for Valentine, right? It's really it's really crazy. But we as Muslims, we're actually falling behind in our own duty, and we're saying, oh, the kids are really more loving to their schools. They don't like Islam. It's we, the adults, parents, who are actually making it not really fun to them. Because it's just about us. That's how we feel all the time. It's just about us going there, fasting, doing tafsir. We don't think about the kids. And later on, we say, oh, the kids do not know how to pray. They don't learn to fast. They don't want to fast. Because right from the onset, we do not carry them along. We don't carry them along. We don't carry these kids along. And when something happened later in life, we're gonna be blaming them, we're gonna be blaming the society. The society will do what it gets to do, right? People in the school system will indoctrinate the kids as they want. But if we as parents are not taking the effort to actually control some of the narratives, then we're gonna lose this kids. And so you might think this discussion is not needed, but it's really, really important, even beyond Ramadan. We need to wake up as parents, especially many of us living in the West, not just in the West, many all over the world. Things are changing. Even if your child is not living in the US or in Canada or any part of the Western country, you can be prone to any false information or false attitude from your child. So be wary and be conscious of your child and what they learn and how they actually understand the religion. So that's the third idea I'm actually giving you all today. Get, Quran connection room for your child where they learn stories of the prophets, or maybe it's gonna be about revising the concept of tajweed, and the best person actually winning the quiz gets something. Gifting is really a good way to get kids along with learning. Gifting, it's really important. So, like for instance, the calendar counting that I mentioned earlier, or the Little Fasters Club, giving them gift for those who have successfully fasted 2 3 days or more, and also having Quran connection room. Like when you've told them the story, you ask questions about what they've learned, and you give gifts, something very small gift to someone that have actually answered the questions more correctly. That kind of thing could be a way to instill the love of Ramadan or the love of Islam in their heart as well. My fourth idea, which I feel like we can do as parents as well, is training our kids to show some act of kindness. You can have, for instance, sadaqah jar. You can have a jar in your house, and every Ramadan maybe you give your kids $1, $2, and you say, okay, we're gonna see who's gonna keep who's gonna have the highest amount of money in their jar. Or you can have them go in the masjid and collecting donations for the needy, right? Let's say, oh, they collecting donations for the poor people, or for the needy in the society. And then getting the kids, making sure that in Ramadan we're going to be in the masjid. I'm going to be at the entrance of the masjid. You collaborate with the community of the masjid and say, hey, these kids are collecting donations for the homeless in the society. They're collecting donations for food hampers, whatever the goal could be. This is something that collective efforts communities can do. Actually, I feel this is really more needed for many of us living in the West here. It's really more challenging and getting more challenging to train our kids, to get them to learn about the religion, because they spend a lot of time in schools, and many of the misinformation or indoctrination going on in school is too much, that we don't want to sit at the back and saying, "Oh, okay, the kids will learn it." No, we need to wake up. We need to wake up and take action ourselves. Okay. So Islam also preaches, kindness. It preaches, humanity. It preaches all that, and this is even the message of Islam. Allah Sallam mentioned that innama bu'ithtu li'utammima makarim al-akhlaq. I've been raised to come to perfect the best of manners. Imagine. And so we can actually get that kind of activity for our kids. It could be that we have a sadaqah jar in the house, and we give the kids money every day and say, okay, we're gonna see who's gonna have the highest number of dollars in the jar, and the money they have will be given to the homeless, or we give it to the needy or something. Or they can have it organized in the community, in the masjid. They say, okay, people come to Tarawih a lot in Ramadan, and you can have the kids have a station in front of them, in front of the masjid, or probably inside the masjid at the entrance. They have a placard, donate towards homeless courses, donate towards a special kind, course. This is something that can actually instill the law of Islam and instill the law of kindness and connection with Ramadan in the heart of your kids. So this is something you can do. Lastly, my fifth idea I have for you guys is, do some craft work for your child. Do it with them. You can do coloring if they're much little. You can do coloring activities of the masjid, of Quran, and do some craft work with them. This is amazing. My wife does this. They craft and design a masjid with cardboard. It sounds really, you might say it's time consuming, but we have a lot of time to actually spare 30 minutes, an hour to our kids. It might be in the beginning of Ramadan, or get that kind of craft work done, or they can craft and design, a moon, or they can craft and design a star. They can craft and design a small masjid. They can craft and design something. So these are things that actually I feel we all can do. And you might think, why am I bringing out these ideas, and what does that has to do with learning Quran? I tell you, our kids today are behind with their religion connection. I mean, you might think of your 14 years old, an average Muslim in the West, the kids are not able to recite the Quran on their own. And That's the Quran reading. But connecting with the Quran, it's one of the biggest challenge either as well. So the kids, even reading the Quran could be something that could seems harder, but how the kids will connect with the Quran and connect with Islam and understand the message of Islam and understand how to appreciate their religion and be able to defend it. They don't have those skills. And so we need to start from small parts. Like this blessed month of Ramadan, we can increase our engagement with the kids, having them have Ramadan countdown calendar in the house, in the bedroom, and count, oh, the Ramadan is today is 8, 9, 10, and that until Ramadan ends. Or if you don't have that, it's pretty easy, the basic one. You can have them have a club of little fasters, right? I call them the little fasters club. You can have friends and families, that and ask all the kids to form a club and say, hey, we're gonna see who's gonna fast the most of this Ramadan. They don't have to fast all this. If some of them can fast it, we're gonna see who is the person that actually fasted the more. And those who fasted, a few hours, based on their age, you actually record that. And at the end of Ramadan, you can give them gift or present them with huge, remarkable gifts so they know that, oh, the next time Ramadan is coming, they're going to be rushing and wanting to meet Ramadan, inshallah. So they love to fast as well. And the other thing is you create what I call Quran connection room for your kids, or for the kids in the community. It does not necessarily mean that you will be the one to do it. You can enroll your child in those kind of Ramadan special programs like we have in our program here, to engage students in Ramadan and get them. We have classes ongoing right now in our program here. The kids are learning. So in our Islamic studies classes right now, they're talking about Ramadan. Imagine the kids are talking about different things about Ramadan and having activities in the classroom. These are the ways. If you don't have time, many parents do not have time to do all this for the kids, but we have programs online. You don't have to drive your kids there to have your child learn and collaborate with other kids from across the globe. If you're based in the US and the UK, your kids can still learn and get all this knowledge from the comfort of their home without you having to stress to drive anywhere. Online, we have it at Maaher Academy. So comment below this video if you're actually maybe interested in having your child join us in this program here. And I mentioned about the third or the fourth thing that your child can do, or you can do for your kids in Ramadan here is you can have them have some kind of act of kindness, done. Maybe like they have a sadaqah jar in the house, or they have a booth at the entrance of the masjid in your local community. Talk to the elders of the community and have the kids have a placard and say we're collecting donation for the homeless in the community, for the needy, for this and that. So the kids attach kindness and and goodness to Ramadan and Islam. And the last thing I mentioned is having some craft work done with your kids. I mean, this could be more engaging and the kids will love it. I tell you, I've seen my kids, and whenever we say Ramadan is coming, they'll be jumping like all over the place. Oh, Ramadan, Ramadan. Like, 5, 6 years old kid, they already know what they did last year, and they're super excited to welcome the next Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make all our kids the coolness of our eyes. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them the best of their generation. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them those who will be proud of in this dunya. On day of Qiyamah, we ask Allah to make them those who will have the opportunity to crown their parents with the Taj al Quran. On the day of Qiyamah, Sallam mentioned, he said, Iqra'u al-Quran, فإنه يأتي يوم القيامة شفيعا لأصحابه. That recite the Quran. On the day of Qiyamah, Quran will come as an intercessor for his reciters. Imagine that. And the parents of a child who memorize the Quran, on the day of Qiyamah, they will be crowned with a special crown on the day of Qiyamah, meaning they will be treated special for taking that effort to get their kids to learn to memorize the Quran. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us have offspring and generations that will do this for us as well. Brothers and sisters, it's your opportunity, your chance to get started on this path of success, to get your child to learn about the deen, to get your child to learn about Islam and the Quran. Most importantly, having your child learn to recite the Quran, fluently. So if you have a child that's currently struggling with Quran reading, with Quran memorization, comment below this video, or book one of our parent demo calls so you can get started with the program. So just tap the link below this video and get started today in our Quran fluency program, so your child can learn to recite the Quran fluently in just 4 months, inshallah. Plus, they learn Tawheed, they learn Hadith, they learn Fiqh, they learn topics of morals, about morals in Islam. So, comment below this video. Let us know if you have any question. You can share with me what other activities you've already started engaging your kids with this Ramadan. So, comment below this video. Let me know. Those are my 5 suggestions of activities you can do for your kids in Ramadan. Let me know in the comment below if you have any other things that you have in mind that you already started doing. Maybe you want to share with everyone here, or if you really want to get your child started learning to recite the Quran and connecting with the religion, use one of the link below to book one of our parent demo call so you can see how our program works so you can get started for your child, inshallah. Today, this is going to be the end of my discussion today, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you and your family and to bless your time for listening to me. Again, it's the brother Imam Muhammad Amin from Maaher Academy. We hope, inshallah, to see you next time in our live session. So always get ready for your question and answers every week. Sessions will run at 12 p.m. Eastern every Sundays. And also now it's 4 p.m. UK time for those who are based in the UK. Because we just had a daylight savings changes in North America today, so it's now 4 p.m. for those in the UK, and then also 12 p.m. Eastern noon for those who are based in North America, inshallah. So see you next week, inshallah. If you have any comments, let us know below this video. If you want to sign up your child into our Quran Reading Fluency program, use the link below to book your Quran parent demo call so you can come to see how the program works, so your child can learn to recite the Quran fluently themselves in the next 4 months. Plus, your child can also have to understand the religion and learn how to be a good Muslim and all the things that I mentioned about Quran connection room, the little fasters. We have all this right now being implemented in our program with our kids. So if you want to be part of the community, just reach out to us. Let's get started together. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.